Welcome to the Unitarian Universalists of Transylvania County. I'm Bob Renjilian. I'm the minister here. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm glad to have you here this morning. The Unitarian Universalists of Transylvania County have a mission to support individual spiritual journeys and to promote social, economic, and environmental justice. We're glad that you are with us. Would you turn to one another and greet the holy in each one of us? I have a few announcements. Let's see, I have a little short piece of paper here on the auction. Our auction continues through Friday at 5 p.m., and you can buy tickets today for events after the service or starting tomorrow online. I'm going to give you a little warning. If you look around at the bulletin boards with the various events listed, you'll see some are sold out, some have one ticket left, some have more tickets, but by the time coffee hour is done, there will be more of those little things posted up that things will be sold out. So you might not want to wait to do it online. I'm sorry for those of you watching online. Right now, you're not here. You can be here at 11 and start signing up. That's good. One of the events that's there, I'll tell you about, is something that I have done for years, and that is offering a sermon topic. What challenge would you like to give me as a sermon topic? What in the world might you imagine your minister would never think to preach on? But you know you can make me preach on that topic. Now, I'm not going to preach it exactly the way you imagine that I'm going to preach it. I'm going to preach it my way. But it's really interesting. In one congregation I served, a new person, a visitor to the congregation said, I'm going to buy that topic. And that person bought the topic and came to me and said, I won the topic. I've been a visitor in this congregation. Not this one, obviously. And they are so unfriendly to visitors. I want you to preach on how you're not friendly to visitors. Uh-oh. And I did. I preached on how we could do better on that. And the person didn't show up. I had another person who was so excited. They had discovered in the world this reference to an Icelandic band. And this Icelandic band had just released a CD, and they wanted me to preach on the meaning of one of their most popular music videos, which was entirely in gibberish and Icelandic. So I did, and as it turned out, there were a couple other people in the congregation who said, I didn't think anybody knew about that band. I love that band, and you preached on it. Yeah. So, I mean, you think about it. You think about what you would like. So that I like it. It fits the topic, imagination. Imagine what you'd have the minister say. So again, the auction's still going on, and it's the opening night was hugely successful. We're on track to do really well. Thank you to everybody who's made donations and making it work. Today is your birthday. You may not know this, but today is the day we celebrate your birthday. And we have cakes, and I don't know, maybe we'll just all sing together in coffee hour. This is an annual event put on by the Loving Hearts Care Team, and this is an opportunity for all of us to just say, yay! Your birthday may not be on May 4th. May the 4th be with you. But you can just pretend that this is finally our chance to recognize your birthday. I'm glad that you're here. Let's see, Wonderful Wednesday. The sign-up is one of the few sign-up sheets that actually fits anywhere out there. It's on the greeters table. May 14th, you can see up here, Scott Ritter, Karen Batten are going to be doing the musical entertainment. The sign-up that you do helps us know how many meals to prepare, but people can show up for the music. But it's a good idea to sign up. You can sign up on Realm Online as well. Tomorrow, it's Cinco de Mayo, and we recognize many cultural events in the world, so you can congratulate those whose heritage goes to the independence on Cinco de Mayo. But it is also for Unitarian Universalists a historical date. It's the anniversary of the Reverend William Ellery Channing's Baltimore Address of 1819, and where he spoke on Unitarianism, and it was thought to be the rallying moment that led to the organized American Unitarian Association rather than the disorganized bunch of ministers and congregations that had been independently there at that point in the country. I'll read just one snippet of that address. Now all books and all conversation require in the reader or hearer the constant exercise of reason, or their true import is only to be obtained by continual comparison and inference. Human language, you well know, admits various interpretations. I love it in that one small snippet, something about us as Unitarian Universalists following reason, being in conversation, and entertaining various ideas in religion. At this point in time, we welcome the beauty of the music that John Austin is bringing us as it helps us lead our hearts and our minds into worship.
The chalice lighting are words by Reverend Michelle Collins. The words are up on the screen, and it is in unison. Here we are together, bearers of imagination, creators of new worlds. It is our imagination that lifts us up this chair. It whispers, what if, and dares us to answer. Today we gather to renew that spark, to embrace the power to dream. Come, let us imagine boldly and worship together.
you like this one or the clicker one?
That one will work for me.
Great. I see we have cards to read and to share our time together in our service. I will read actually this one card from Christy Renjilian. This is a candle of care, support, and healing as Reverend Bob goes in for heart catheterization tomorrow. So yes, I'll accept all prayers. And let's light a candle for things not yet shared, held in the hearts of those who are here in this room, but also for those things that those people online are not here to share with us. May we remember to leave spaces open in our conversations so we hear more from one another in our cares and in our joys. Thank you. Want to try this one? So you just hold that button down right there and stick the zapper onto the wick. Fully modern electronic. Yeah. Yeah.
Today, the opening words are by Rebecca Savage. Welcome, beloveds, welcome. We come to spiritual community this morning with many hopes in our hearts. To the hope for inspiration, the hope for comfort, the hope for renewal. In this time and space, may inspiration water our thirsty souls. In this time and space, may comfort blossom in the gardens of our hearts and bring us sweet relief. In this time and space, may renewal course through us as electric as a surge of energy, as serene as a nourishing meal, as contagious as joy, and bring us vitality and rejuvenation. May our time together honor all the hopes we hold within. May our time together bless us with spirit gifts of inspiration, comfort, and renewal. Let us worship together. The opening hymn today is number 291. And John, may I ask you to pronounce it?
Yes, you may. Die Gedanken sind frei.
I wasn't sure I could do that, so I figured I'd ask him if he would do that. If you will stand as you are able and sing this song, it will be on the
One verse.
it will be on the screen, yes.
Die Gedanken sind frei, my thoughts freely flower. Die Gedanken sind frei, my thoughts give me power. No scholar can map them, no hunter can trap them, no one can deny. Die Gedanken sind frei. Just one verse, yes, somebody said just
that's
one
right.
verse. Yes,
Okay.
we do not have the rights to the other two verses. That's one of the things about being online. We can't
Yes,
sing verses that we don't
that's
have
right.
rights to.
What does Digga-Duncan-Sinn-Frei mean?
My thoughts are free. Yeah, my thoughts are free.
Thank you. Kevin?
Good morning, everyone. My name's Kevin. I get to work with the kids and the youth here, and so happy for that. And today, our Words of Wisdom story, Wisdom for All Ages, I always call it the wrong thing, is a wonderful book called Maybe. It's written by Kobe Yamada, illustrated by Gabriella Baruch, and this was given to me by Canty and Bill Carpenter, and it's just a wonderful book that goes so well with our theme of imagination for May. In this book, let's all imagine what we can be, what we can become, what we can offer the world. So maybe. And let me get the clicker working here. There we are. Have you ever wondered why you are here? You are only you, ever has been and ever will be. You have so much to offer. Maybe you'll invent something that no one has ever seen before. Maybe you will build things that reach high into the sky. Your life is yours. Try as many things as you can. See as much as you can see. Wherever you go, take your hopes, pack your dreams, and never forget, it's on the journeys that discoveries are made. Maybe you'll help others to see the beauty in each day. Or maybe you'll lift cheering crowds to their feet. Do everything with love, follow your heart, and see where it leads. Maybe you're here to shine a light into the places that have been dark for way too long. Maybe you'll speak up for those who can't speak for themselves. Maybe you're here to help in ways that only you can. There will be struggles, there will be fears, and it won't always be easy. At times you will feel that it's really hard. You might make a mess of things. You may fall down. You may fail. But you'll also get back up. You'll rise a little stronger and a little taller. Because there's really more inside of you than you know. And this world needs your gifts, your talents, and your big ideas. What if you are only scratching the surface of what you can do and who you can be? What if you have talents you haven't discovered yet? There's something powerful, even magical, inside of you. You already have everything it takes to do great things. Maybe you have no idea just how good you really can be, and maybe you don't know how much you matter. But maybe, just maybe, the world has been waiting centuries for someone exactly like you. One thing is for sure, you're here, and because you are here, anything is possible. So that's the book, Maybe, and let's use this month of imagination to imagine what we can be, what we can do, and how we can make the world a better place. And Eli Seafelt will now bring our children's chalice up, and we'll light the candle and sing the children out.
Peace be with you and a blessing as you leave us now. Peace be with you and a blessing. Peace be with you and a blessing. Peace be with you and a blessing as you leave us now. Poor Kevin. I guess our chalice lighter becomes a taser if you hold it backwards. Ouch. This is the moment in our congregation in which we do the little ritual of saying, reach into your pocketbooks and into your pockets and pull out your checkbooks, pull out whatever you've got and give. We have in the basket collections from folks here at any given Sunday, but the beginning of each month, we introduce a new charity of the month, and Marcia Coe is going to introduce what goes into the special envelope for who. Come on up, Marcia.
Active month this month, being with two ways that our congregation can give to very special not-for-profits. One being our church with the auction that's going on, but the second is our charitable month for our charitable donation for the month of May is the Haven of Transylvania County, and it's near and dear to my heart. I'm very passionate about this cause. I'm here to talk about the Haven, whose mission is to bridge the gap between being homeless and being housed. But it's much more than just a bed. It's a very warm and friendly place that provides an environment for their guests and our neighbors, who only live a few blocks away from us. Haven first opened its doors in 2011 with the collaboration of local organizations and churches, and I am proud to say that among our fellow congregants, Earl Rabb and Joanna Bliss recognized the need to house people and who had nowhere to live, and were co-founders of the Haven. The Haven provides temporary housing and life skills to help individuals achieve self-reliance. They have a dedicated staff that assists the guests in identifying the factors leading to their current situation, and together with the individual, develop a plan toward a more stable living condition and housing. They do this with the help of a case manager who links the individuals to community resources, but also with a mental health counselor who addresses past trauma, grief, depression, guilt, and anxiety, and all of which are common barriers for people who are experiencing homelessness. The Haven includes 2 shelters conveniently located here. The Thomas House is an 18-bed shelter for single adults featuring an open plan for professional staff and trained volunteers to monitor activities during the evening and night. The second building is the Haven's Family House, a residence for families with or without children with 4 private bedrooms that preserve unity and also provide for family dynamics. Both shelters are equipped with laundry facilities, showers, mail, and phone messaging services. The Family House is a fully operated kitchen. The grounds have a playground for children and a garden which residents can plant, harvest, and eat from. Perhaps most importantly, though, is the wonderful team of dedicated staff and volunteers who work together to empower people who were formerly marginalized and unhoused. Since 2011, the Haven has housed many individuals and families. It continues its mission to provide temporary housing to those who are lucky enough to be there, develop more dignity and self-respect by being there. Unfortunately, many others in our community have no place to go. They'll make their beds tonight in Pisgah Forest, Cathy's Creek, White Pine, and in parked cars in our beloved Brevard. In the family house, there are currently families with children. The oldest child currently is only 14 years old. The Haven collaborates with many other local organizations such as DSS, the Bread of Life, and the Sharing House. Brevard's churches continue to support the Haven through a variety of ways, one of which is by rotating weekend meals and holiday meals for the Thomas House. The Thomas House has a kitchen with a refrigerator and a microwave, but no stove and oven to prepare their own food. And so it's very important to be able to do this on the weekends, especially since the Bread of Life is closed on the weekends. Our church continues to provide much needed support. Jill Beach provides leadership as a board member. Our church members have provided meals for the Thomas House. Our Social Action Committee completed the garden, including an area for the children to plant and play in the dirt, organized a gardening class for the individuals at both houses, teach a healthy, budget-friendly cooking class currently, and organize potlucks and other events throughout the year. I only hope I haven't omitted anyone in our community who have contributed to the Haven that I haven't acknowledged. In addition to opening your wallets this month for the Haven, please consider volunteering for them. Our beloved community has been hit hard by Hurricane Helene, and there are so many more people who are homeless during this time. The Haven needs more volunteers, especially on Sundays and holidays, to help by manning the phones, answering queries, and providing support to the residents. Volunteer applications are on their website. Thank you, and remember, such as Kevin stated, it's during these unprecedented, tumultuous times that we can shine a light on our corner of the world. Thank you.
Gratefully receive the morning offering. Thank you, Joanna. Thank you, Ian. What is given with love, we receive with great joy. Thank you. All this week, I've had the opportunity, as I've been on Zoom meetings for the Unitarian Universalist Association committee I serve on, to hear opening and closing worship services. And in each their own way, the leaders of those worship services, as we volunteered to do one time each, came and said, gather into this moment. In whatever words they had, they said, use your imagination for whatever it is you call holy, special. Center yourselves in whatever ways help that feeling come to you. Be in this moment and yet transcending this existence. In whatever way, as I said, your imagination might help you into this moment of meditation and prayer, I invite you in this moment together to listen in. Spirit of love and life, we who are gathered here this morning have come here from each our own paths. We have found our own ways in life, and our experiences have helped shape who we are and how we navigate this world. Maybe we have the sparks of imagination which help us guide ourselves from the times of turmoil into times with something better. Maybe, spirit of love and life, we realize and connect with others, knowing with empathy a recognition of the pain and traveling journeys of others, and that we may walk alongside for however long, recognizing we are not alone, but we are with others, and immersed in this great thing we call life, the universe, and everything. Spirit of love and life, may we be awakened to the creativity within, the imagination, the sense of wonder, the transcendence from being stuck in the mud to playing with all that we have, playing to make something beautiful and new and shaped into something of value. Spirit of love and life, we hold in our hearts those who are going for medical procedures, those who are recovering in their journey through their health interventions. We reach out with our hearts to those who are grieving the loss of those who are no longer right beside us, other than in our imaginations. Spirit of love and life, we hold these prayers, the prayers of our hearts and the thoughts of our minds in the silence. In the names of all those known and unknown, remembered and forgotten, in the names of all the helpers of humankind, we say, Amen. Blessed be. Thank you, Diane Weaver. Thank you so much, and John for the accompaniment. The reading that I have this morning is of words of Julia Cameron. I used this reading 2 years ago when I was preaching on creativity. I think it works really well for this theme of imagination as well. People frequently believe the creative life is grounded in fantasy. The more difficult truth is that creativity is grounded in reality, in the particular, the focused, the well-observed or specifically imagined. As we lose our vagueness about ourself, our values, our life situation, we become available to the moment. It is there, in the particular, that we contact the creative self. Until we experience the freedom of solitude, we cannot connect authentically. We may be enmeshed, but we are not encountered. Art lies in the moment of encounter. We meet our truth and we meet ourselves. We meet ourselves and we meet our self-expression. We become original because we become something specific, an origin from which work flows. My sermon this morning is launching this month's theme on imagination, and I've entitled it The Spark of Imagination. It's just a little taste, a little bit of a hint to where this month's study and sermons will go. We'll still have the Friday morning drop-in time if you want to discuss. And we have as well the packets if you want a packet sent to you by PDF on email. Or we'll print one if you don't have email. I'll read a little bit from the materials to help you, well, imagine what this thing about imagination is. The reading by Julia Cameron brings up the sense that we somehow become real and therefore can create. We connect with possibilities even or especially as we are connected with reality. We human beings can make something out of things that weren't quite there. I have a colleague of mine, and I put this in the description that went into the paper or you read it online, from a description from a colleague of mine. Do you remember back in the days when email was new, people would think of something just cute or wisdom words that would be right after their signature. And the Reverend Ruth Ellen Gibson had one that I always remember, her email tag. And she had served congregations in Massachusetts, Wisconsin, and Colorado, ministering to the children, youth, and adults in the education and faith development programs of congregations that wanted a full-time professional ordained minister to lead their children's programs and their educational programs and their family ministries. And Ruth Ellen Gibson would always sign her emails, "It takes a swirling chaos to create a star." And her words are exactly what I think we need to hear as we are watching everything that we thought might be solid suddenly become chaos all around us. A swirling chaos. I think of the ways in which stars are formed. They're formed by clumps that just, gravitate to each other in this whole mix, gravitating to the point that the gravity is so much that it bursts into light. And I think of what it might mean for a swirling chaos and all of our grounding in reality that makes us a little bit, no, not a little bit nervous, a whole lot nervous for the rights of others, for ourselves, for our communities, our future, for our country. I believe that religion is here to help us speak into the public sphere in such a way that our values help bring people into those clumps. So we lit a candle a few weeks ago celebrating the 350 people who showed up at the courthouse. we recognized in Marcia's description of the founding of the Haven that there are people within this congregation who were part of that gravity to make something become. Imagine. Now, there's not to say that there wasn't anything before that for homeless folks. And you better believe the UUs of this community were part of that predecessor as well, rebuilding a little house to help with that proto-organization that was out there. Swirling chaos. And if we're wrapped up in that swirl, who would you hang on to? There's a question in the packet. In your early life, who most helped you imagine possibilities of what you could become? Think about it. We're mammals. We don't become ourselves on our own. We are not birthed into full form immediately, abandoned to the elements. Well, all right, some parents are really good at abandonment. But we're not tuned for that. We're tuned to then find the people around us who can do something to help us most imagine the possibility of who we become. That maybe book, thank you to the Carpenters for that maybe book that Kevin read. Maybe this, maybe we could imagine. And at the end, pigs fly. Maybe we can imagine. There's so many artists whose works are represented at our auction here. And I know in past auctions I have bought photographs from members of this congregation. Bid them up and bid them up and bid them up because I wasn't the only one who thought they were good and needed to have wall space. Who are the people who helped you imagine the possibilities of what you could become? And then another question in that packet to ponder is, are you someone who imagines everything that can go right or everything that can go wrong? And in your life, who in your life balances you out with your natural tendency? Who is your poo, your piglet, to balance your Eeyore? You know, that reference to a childhood story, Christopher Robin imagining. Who was your imaginary friend? You know, we'll do that. We'll do that when we're young especially, and sometimes we give ourselves permission when we're older too, to have a conversation with somebody completely imaginary, and yet who we need to companion us from time to time in our quiet. What's one of the worst tortures that we allow in our prison system? Isolation. Solitary confinement. In the midst of solitude, what do we find? A bird at the window? A bug on the wall? Or a reclaiming of our own imagination to think of someone to have a conversation with, even if only in our minds, to help us keep grounded in who we are and the reality we're in and how we can transcend where we are. I mean, think about it as an adult. If you could have 5 fictional characters as best friends, who would they be? Who would you choose? I don't know. Mrs. Marple might be a good person to hang out with. I don't know, that might work. Who else? Think of the ways, what was it, William Ellery Channing said, we approach things with reason? Well, yeah, but we can also approach things with our imagination. And if so, ponder as you leave this place thinking, what is your greatest act of imagination? Our opening readings asked us to, in this time and space, find renewal coursing through us, as electric as a surge of energy, not like a taser. As serene as a nourishing meal, as contagious as joy, that it may bring us vitality and rejuvenation. May all the hopes that we hold within become imagined into being amongst this swirling chaos. I invite you to rise as you're willing and able to sing a hymn that I think kind of talks about this. Number 301, Touch the Earth, Reach the Sky. The sky, walk on shores where spirits fly, over the ocean, over the land, our faith, our quest to understand. Touch the earth, reach the sky, children ask our reasons why. And by our love they learn and grow. Touch the earth, reach the sky, all are born and all shall die. Life's the time left in between to follow a star, to build a dream. Touch the earth, reach the sky, hug the laughter, feel the cry. May we see where we can give, for this is what it means to live. Touch the earth, reach the sky, soar with courage ever high, spirits joining as we fly, to touch the earth, to reach the sky. May I point out before our benediction that, every week we end up with imaginative background images to go with our hymns. And I thank Catherine and Doug and all the photographers who get credited in a scrolling whirlwind at the end of our service. If you watch online, all these names of photographers. Thank you to everybody's imagination and creativity. Gypsy gave me some words she thought would work as an opening, and I think they work as a closing. Believe that imagination is stronger than knowledge, that myth is more potent than history, that dreams are more important than facts, that hope always triumphs over experience. And these were the words of Robert Fulghum. May you go forth with something of a childlike wonder and spark as you make your way around this swirling chaos of reality out there. Clump together and make a star. Blessings on all of you.